Hi there, Tarot people. So our card of the day is the Four of Cups. So we check out this guy sitting under the tree with his arms and legs crossed, staring sort of at those three cups on display in front of him, and quite obviously denying and ignoring that fourth cup that's on offer from this angelic hand coming out of the cloud. So that hand coming out of the cloud, it resonates with the aces, where there's always a hand coming out of the card, coming out of a cloud, but a big one, representing the hand of God, offering us an opportunity of some variety. Here, the cups is always an emotional opportunity. There's always a connection with our subconscious, with our imagination, with our creativity, with this more feeling and sensitive and emotional level of ourselves. So this guy sitting in front of these three cups, the Three of Cups was, symbolically this creative harmony of celebration and joy and wonder and awe, and the guy's just come out of the three, and he's just sitting underneath his tree there, as if he's coming down from a night of celebration, and then somebody offers him a fourth cup and he's like, well, I'm not too sure about that. In a way, this fourth cup, even though it is a gift, even though it represents a very much an angelic or divine gift, this gift comes with it a greater responsibility. And this is because if we're upgrading from 3 cups to 4 cups, it means that we're going to have a stronger emotional experience. And we know through our experience that the emotional story is going to have ups and downs in it. And if we're going to go from 3 to 4, then those ups and downs are going to be more intense, more powerful, and they will include a greater amount of love and a greater amount of self-love and a greater amount of experience of love in the outside world as well. But with that, hand in hand, will come the potential of feeling more sorrow and feeling the downs that come with it. And we're a little bit hesitant naturally to take on this responsibility. And it's a responsibility because we need a little bit more self-awareness if we're going to have a greater field of emotional capacity in our lives. We need to be extra attentive about where our healthy boundaries are, about how to create those boundaries in our life. And this boundary is this position of holding and protecting our heart, which we naturally do in moments where opportunities are on offer. We close in and we have a look, and we've jumped in with both feet before. We've done that path, and we know that it doesn't always work. And we know that we'll get hurt sometimes afterwards, but this is an opportunity that is potentially enriching and empowering for us. And we're probably going to have to take it at one time, but we might need a little bit of time in order to feel comfortable with it, and that's just fine. And it's about taking that time. It's about really sitting with ourselves and contemplating a little bit and reflecting a little bit about what it might mean. And eventually, hopefully, just turning to that cup and taking it as the valid opportunity that it really is. Because the cup story, the emotional story, is a mixed one, in that there are ups and downs in our emotions all the time. Our sensitivity isn't always what we feel most comfortable with. And even on a physical level, emotionally, we are comfortable with those range of feelings that we feel we have a little bit of control over. And when we lose control of our emotional states, this is when we're having a more extreme and intense emotional experience. And this usually comes from memories and traumas and conditionings and programs from the past that come up and trigger us in some way or another. And this guy in this picture is a little bit afraid of those triggers coming up, is a little bit afraid of being triggered. He's a little bit afraid of having his past traumas come up again and having to face them once more. There's a little bit of discomfort here. There's a little bit of natural oh, I'd rather stay with what I've got in my comfort zone than reach out, upgrade, and experience a different level of discomfort, which comes with a greater level of emotional joy and love at the same time, because they will come hand in hand. And there is that resistance, to that temporary resistance to experience more, because it must include stepping out of what you are comfortable with in your life right now, right here. So saying that, I relate to this card so much because, yeah, I can definitely sit in a closed space with the range of feelings that I feel comfortable with, and I'm going to say no to so many things that are going to be challenging for me, maybe because I'm a little bit lazy and I don't really want to take on that challenge. And yet life asks us to challenge ourselves sometimes. Life asks us to embrace other levels, and sometimes they're so tempting that you just go, God, yeah, I'll go for it. And other times you go, I'm not too sure about that. And this reflective story is important. It's important to reflect about the opportunities and to be clear. There's a greater level of self-communication that this card asks for, and a greater level of communication with the world on the outside, which is corresponding to this, which means that we will have to have a greater emotional intelligence, which means we need to communicate with ourselves emotionally and listen to our body and listen to what we are feeling and how we are, and how our emotional state is changing and moving and what we really desire. And it's about communicating with our needs and our purpose, and just feeling out and paying attention to that that feeling, that essence, that sensitivity part of ourself that's going to be aware of the subtle nuances and changes in the world and our reactions to them, and become clear about what those reactions are about and how we can not necessarily control them, but at least feel comfortable when our emotional swings are in play and the pendulum is moving from one side to the other in a more exaggerated way, because taking that fourth cup is going to mean that the cups are a little bit heavier, so the pendulum will swing a little bit more to one side and then a little bit more to the other side, and it's unavoidable. And taking the fourth cup in essence is unavoidable. There's a bit of resistance in the four because there's this creativity in cups which is all flowing and water-like, and the number four is quite rigid and stable, and so there's this kind of resistance inside for our flowing creative nature to become a little bit more stable. And so we like it when it's more free and not contained as much. But containing our emotions is also a beautiful thing, and this is really where we actually can step into a deeper level of emotional abundance. And if we actually say yes to an emotional abundance, this is key to saying yes to material abundance. And that was a big click for me today as well, that just made me realize, if I can actually say yes to feeling more or provoking more or having more or loving more, then this is going to open me up, on a bodily level to embracing more material abundance as well, because they will come hand in hand. Anyway, this is a bit of the message of the Four of Cups. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can relate in some way or another. And if you can, please leave a comment and click likey and all those beautiful things. And I wish you all a fantastic day.